What's going on, guys? Welcome back. My name is Kel. I'm documenting my journey from safety compliance and physical security in IT. Giving a little brief overview of our last video, I talked about who I am, why I'm doing this, where I plan to go with it, and what some of my goals are. One of my biggest goals at the moment is passing the CompTIA Security Plus. So in this video, we're going to talk about a little bit of what I'm doing to prepare and how I'm studying for that. To prepare for this, I did build my own study system instead of following one course. To do this, I used AI, Professor Messer, and a few other tools, which we'll be detailing in this video. I chose to do it this way just because I simply don't do well watching videos or reading for hours on end. It's just not something that works for me. So I do a lot better when it comes to being hands-on and kind of putting together a curriculum to teach myself or even teach others. So today we're going to be getting into a little bit of what those resources are. Resource one being my starting point. That was ChatGPT and CompTIA's Security Plus exam objectives. With these two things, I was able to break domains down into the sections, generate questions, and test my own understanding from a place that was more specialized to me, but still lining up directly with what those exam objectives were. And I always say this, but I feel like active learning is way better than passive learning. By that I mean, when you're putting concepts in a way where you have to explain them or you have to keep them on hand or keep them in the back of your mind so you can spitball them to somebody else, it becomes a lot easier to grasp those concepts. Resource two, I use more as a guide, and that'll be Roadmap.sh's Cybersecurity Roadmap. With this, I kind of use it as a visual roadmap of where I need to start, where I need to go. It gives me a lot of insight on what I need to do now and what I need to do after I get the Security Plus. It shows me just how much of a beginner cert the Security Plus is. I do feel like this is a worthwhile resource to use. It's completely free, and it does link to other resources that would help you as well. My third resource is something that I use kind of just to test myself. That's Dion's Udemy course, which is usually about $130 on Udemy. You can usually catch it on sale for under $50, so I definitely feel like it's something that would be worth the investment. I chose this because it's the closest to the real exam based on what I've looked up, seen on things like Reddit, Twitter, YouTube, from various creators. And it has been very helpful. It shows my weak areas and what I need to reinforce, and it gives a very different structure to what a lot of the free or really cheap practical exams out there offer. The fourth resource that I'm going to give you guys is something I just use for reinforcement. Somebody is really great. His name's been thrown around a lot out in the community, and that's Professor Messer, and his course is on YouTube. All of these resources, of course, I'll link down in the bottom. But Professor Messer I use just after my studying sessions, more so as a way to reinforce the concepts that I just spent hours diving into. It kind of helps me just because it gives me a way to hear things explained differently and not really have a textbook definition given to me. The last resource I'm going to tell you guys is really just learn by doing. For me, that was in the form of putting together my own study binder. This was filled with the breakdowns of the domains, different acronyms I would need to remember, different certifications that I wanted to go get, my daily cliff notes, really just anything that could help me. And even more than that, it's just about keeping it organized so you have that consistency of coming back to this every day and not feeling like you're starting over, because that's something I struggled with a lot at first. But having that binder definitely is very helpful. Just to talk a little bit more about what my next steps are after this. Once I pass the Security Plus, I would like to move on to my AWS Cloud Practitioner certification and then move on to the Cloud Security Specialist cert. And a little bit about what I have going on currently in my life. I do have an IT help desk interview for next Friday, so be on the lookout for that video. I'll be letting you guys know how that went. And just to kind of wrap things up a little bit, if you are studying for the Security Plus and would like to drop some of the resources you're using to study, it'd be greatly appreciated. So go ahead and drop those below for anybody else studying. And once again, this is Kel. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.